Music by artist RAGE. This is an imaginary song. With no studio, with not a tune. Check my flow. I might be slow, but the lyrics are through your mind is gonna blow. Here we go. Yo, once you know that you are not pure, and that can meet you anytime you are not sure, you will start looking for limited cure. Once you know that one day all is gonna go, and that day there would be no blood flow, you will stop the show of the blind ego which you used to follow. You will stand firmly on the path which earlier had a confused road. You will slowly turn slow as you were. Mind has nothing to swallow or follow. When you turn hollow, you have the chance to glow. Earlier you were ego added extra weight to your elbow. Remember, every second it's taking you to dead, a permanent end. No matter how you bend, you can't change the birth and death trend. So you have this chance to start this mind's dance and turn inward and search the hidden truth. Who you are, what you are, facing all this burden. Once you are done with all evil desires, you step on the weapon of who am I, which is going to destroy evil ignorance. Using it to try to make some sense with the inner voice. You lose balance, you meet darkness, which is too dense. When you walk out of this fence, you cleanse the inner lens. Yo, once you know that you are not pure, and that can meet you anytime you are not sure, you will start looking for limited cure. Once you know that one day art is gonna go, and that day there would be no black flow, you will stop the show of this blind ego which you used to follow. You will stand firmly on the path which earlier had a confused road. You will slowly turn slow as your mind has nothing to swallow or follow. When you turn hollow, you have this chance to glow. Earlier your ego added extra weight to evil elbow. Remember, every second it's taking you to death, a permanent end. No matter how you've been, you can't change the birth and death trend. So you have this chance to stop the mind's dance and turn inward and search the hidden truth. Who you are, what you are, facing all this burden. Once you are done with all evil desires, you step on the weapon of who am I, which is going to destroy your ignorance. Using it to try to make some sense. When the inner wise you lose balance, you meet darkness which is dense. When you walk out of the fence, you cleanse the inner lens. Once you know that you are not pure, and that can meet you anytime you are not sure, you will stop looking for limited cure. Once you know that one day all is gonna go, and that day there would be no black flow, you will stop the show of the blind ego.